Did you see AOC got yelled at in public again? Like I said on Twitter, the more this happens, the more I start to agree with the people who are like, if you're not doing this to everyone, you're just a grifter. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy, man. You're concerned with the treatment of Palestinians and you're only attacking AOC for it. That's very convenient. That's definitely not like a decision motivated by the clicks that'll get you online. You're definitely like, you know, coordinating your efforts to maximize the likelihood of altering the outcomes for the Palestinian people. Yeah, this one I found. I was scrolling for it.
How many more? Don't touch me. Don't touch me. You want to touch me? You think? Okay, say. How many more kids have to die if you're called a genocide? Don't touch me. How many more kids? Get out of here. How many more kids, AOC? How many more kids have to die?
And look, and they never actually. There's no effort at actually like changing mind or building power. It's always just, can I get the spiciest clip for my channel? You know, it's like there's no actually. They don't actually care.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. You want to touch me? You think? Okay, say. How many more kids have to die if you're called a genocide? Don't touch me.
She's called it a genocide also multiple times. She's literally called, because again, this guy doesn't know. This guy's only information source is like the insane tanky circles where excuse me, where they talk like AOC is some sort of militant counter-revolutionary who betrayed the one last hope we had for class solidarity, and now she's like an enemy of the people in the Palestinian state or whatever.
How many more kids? Get out of here. How many more kids, AOC? How many more kids have to die? You're gonna call it a genocide.
She's literally called a genocide. Like, it reveals how little they know and how little they care. Bosh, that's fair, but I kind of feel like if protesters did this to a Republican and make them more popular base. Nope. No. That's cope. If more lefty protesters would go up to Republicans and be like, hey, I thought you were America first. Do you want to send $50 trillion more to Israel, you piece of shit? Guarantee you that would go huge. That would go huge. But none of them want to do it because they don't care. Because there's no clout in that. You know, if you're a lefty, like a Twitter tanky or whatever, the only clout you get is by attacking other lefties, right? That there's no like, oh, I yelled at like Brian Mast or whatever. No one gives a shit because leftists have jobs to lose. Not these ones. You think the guy in this video has a job? Get real.
How many more kids? Don't touch me. How many more kids have to die if you call it a genocide? Hey, how many more kids have to?
Jesus Christ, you know. Doc, she's like the one person who's called it a genocide. There's like 4 Congress people who have called it a genocide, and she's one of them. This is probably the most time this guy spent outside his house in a while. It just bothers me how transparent they are about not caring about Palestinians. Like, it's just online clout sharking for them. It would be so based if more lefties were willing to go up to Republican legislators and be like, yeah, man, hey, America first? Yeah, you want to go? Like, obviously you can't come at them from the you're harming innocent civilians angle because they don't give a shit, you know? You have to use the talking points that work. And if you don't want to do that, then you don't really care. You're like, oh, yeah, you don't really care. What do you want?
To die. Tell me how many more kids? How many more? How many more? 10,000 more? 20,000? How many kids?
Probably should have looked this up, whether or not she's called it a genocide. Yeah, but Republicans will have you arrested and shot. No, they won't. I have no idea where this myth came from that, like, if you, I don't know, like, what, like, cartoon reality you live in, where you think that if you are mean to a Republican in public, that they have a different set of laws they can apply. I think that's, like, coward speak. It's like, oh, well, of course they can't do that, or we can't do that, you know, because they would just don't have to obey the law. Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're just not gonna, like, gun you down in broad daylight. We have plenty of videos of people, like, remember that video of, that guy yelling at Tucker Carlson, like really yelling at him in the shop? Nothing happened. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I mean, don't like assault them because that is against the law. The police will come after you for that one. But like, yeah, it's Walter Maston confronting Matt Gaetz and MTG.
I just want to go in right in his face and they're hiding Taylor Green.
Oh, jeez.
I'm so excited! I mean, just, oh, everyone thinks you're crazy. I don't think you're crazy. People think you're a pedophile. I don't think you're a pedophile at all. I don't think he's a pedophile at all. The charges against him are totally false. They're totally false. Oh my.
You can, this is you guys, like, defending me in comment sections, which is why I asked you to stop. You're like, yeah, you can do whatever.
God.
Thank you.
Thank you. The people saying they'll get shot imagine that we're already living in late Weimar Germany. Vosh, it already reinforces the revolutionary fantasies. I mean, I think that because it's not just the one person in chat who I responded to. It's I've seen people online say this too, like the idea that you're in danger if you protest Republicans or are mean to them in public or whatever. And I'm sorry, dude, you're just not. You're just not. You're not like attacking the 3%ers or the Proud Boys or whatever, like a group of rowdy militants or brown shirts, you know? You're just you can just I didn't mean it. The cost of opening your mouth. Yeah. Not any more than anyone else, yeah. Yeah, she has called it a Germany lol. These people are such losers. Yeah. The mindset we're literally in Weimar Germany is stupidly prevalent on the left. Well, hold on. I will use Weimar Germany as like a point of comparison, and I'm happy to. But like, I don't know. Can you imagine like it's the 30s in Germany or whatever, like early 30s, and you have steadfast leftists who refuse to ever attack or protest Nazis, Nazi events, Nazi officials, Nazi groups, whatever, but they go really, really hard against the SPD. Like, the SPD, sure, but like, wouldn't that be like, I don't know, kind of weird? I mean, I'm basically just describing what the communists in Germany did, so I mean, you know, I guess I'm kind of, you know, history repeats itself there. History rhymes at the very least. That was actually a large portion of the KBD. Yeah, I know. Yeah, this kind of is what happened. Hey, guess what happened afterwards, you know? I don't know, Vosh, I do think Republicans in general are more unhinged. Like, the odds are low, sure, but remember the dude who shot some kids because they accidentally pulled in his driveway? Yeah, but that's different. That's guy defending his house. We're talking about, like, at a coffee shop, there's a Republican... You know, for the most part, like, Republican officials, pundits, congresspeople, whatever, they don't even have security in public, you know? Like, for the most part, these people just... Like, you can see thousands of candid photos of congresspeople just walking around D.C. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, it's D.C., so it's like a fortress city anyway. But if you wanted to go up and be, like, mean to them or whatever, you can do that. That's not against the law, unless you cross into assault or harassment. But if you just go up and say, like, hey, I thought you were America first, like, you piece of shit, that's not... That definitely does not cross that threshold. People harass McConnell for months, yeah. Would it be like setting a bad precedent? How so? Hey, you politician, you're complicit in a genocide? I feel like that might set a good precedent. I don't know. And you got to hit the right wing where it counts, you know? Like, you have to talk about the America First business. You can't, you know. Remember all the harassment that who was it who got it? Was it Feinstein who got it? Where she was like followed into bathrooms and shit, and it was discourse for a little while. I remember. Was that cinema? I might be mixing two events up in my head. Well, either way based. Have you ever run into a senator? No, I've never run into a senator. I live in the opposite. Like within the contiguous United States, I live as far away from DC as it's possible to live, more or less. So no, I've never just run into a senator. Saw plenty of actors in Hollywood, but not senators. Yeah, wrong Washington. I'm in the other Washington, the faraway Washington. Did the people that named the Western Coast state Washington do it as a gag? Not really a gag. They just named it after the first president, you know? It's not too hard to keep it in mind. What would you do if you ran into Ted Cruz in the street? I'm not gonna lie, if I saw like Ted Cruz in the street, my immediate thought would be like, throw something at him. And then my second thought would be, wait, hold on, that's actually a crime. And by the time I resolve those two conflicting thoughts, he would already have walked by me. Because I think like I think it would take me a second to parse out like to resolve the dialectic, you know? And when I came out the other side, I'd be like, I'll yell at him, and he's like 30 feet behind me. You know? That's how it is. Isn't that kind of cucked? Like George Washington never visited Washington State. Why not name it after a local indigenous culture or something? First of all, what makes you think the settlers on the West Coast cared about indigenous people? Second of all, a ton of stuff over here is named after indigenous stuff. Seattle was the name of a indigenous chieftain, for instance. Third of all, why does it matter whether or not he visited it? I don't get it. I don't understand. Why not name it after mutual aid? True.